The Shadow Realm, the #1 place you do not want to go. Originating from the Yu-Gi-Oh anime dub, it's the one form of censorship that anime fans actually like. Or is it? See, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters anime has a lot going on with mystical magic at every turn. Characters will often participate in shadow games that are like typical games of Yu-Gi-Oh! But with a magical twist. These originate from the manga the anime is based on, in which they do the same thing but with different tabletop games. Most would end up with the loser dying. So when the anime was being dubbed and localized for a worldwide audience, they also changed the target demographic just a bit, skewing a little younger. Most anime at the time did the exact same thing because 12-year-olds watch more cartoons than 15-year-olds, that's just how it was. Therefore, when it came to topics like death, English dubbed anime had to be censored a little here and there to get approved for the right Saturday morning time slot. A seemingly impossible task given a subject matter, but creating the Shadow Realm, a mystical dark place people can get trapped in as a substitute for straight out death, worked really well. For one thing, the Shadow Realm sort of already existed in the original Japanese, not so much a dark purgatory like the English dubbed counterpart. It was more like a separate dimension in which certain duels known as shadow games would take place to up the magical stakes. We first see something like this during a duel between Pegasus and Yugi, and it would continue to appear throughout the series. There was also a world of darkness in which a character's soul could be temporarily sent, but ultimately retrieved through some means. Again, this already existed in the original Japanese version, so taking two similar-ish concepts and combining them into one place, while also being able to always just pull the term Shadow Realm out of your pocket to censor gruesome deaths, turned out to work phenomenally. Now, not every death was censored or changed. The ones that really are important to the story remain intact, but obviously the weird stuff like replacing regular saw blades with Shadow Realm saw blades that transport you there if you touch it, dude, who wrote this? Again, they would have to bend over backwards in weird ways for some episodes to keep that Y7 rating. But it is kind of neat to have an impermanent purgatory. Like, sure, weirdos can be sent there and suffer for all eternity, arguably a fate worse than death, but through the power of friendship we can rescue anybody. Though permanent death is still real too, so it's not like there are no consequences. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Series haven't really adhered to the concept of the Shadow Realm exactly, mostly because their worlds continue changing so much and doing their own things. That didn't stop offhand mentions in the English dub of the following two series, but whenever fans look back on the original series, the iconography of the Shadow Realm holds the impact it had, creating something unique to the series. I struggle to really call it a good piece of world building, because while I do applaud the English writers for coming up with a way to connect relatively unrelated concepts, while also solving their problem of censoring death, it wasn't the original intention. The anime we got was very different from the manga, so there would already be changes, but I think if the Shadow Realm was intended to be an actual place from the very beginning, from which a lot of dark magical elements of the story derive, then it would have been even better connected and implemented. So I don't really have the opinion that the concept is bad. I honestly think that is such a good and unique idea that sometimes it clashes with the original source material, but in the end it was really interesting to take a look back. For the most part, I see fans in favor of its existence. Again, having a recognizable iconography is a good thing for media franchises. Oh, and also I realized I didn't mention all that much that there was like a big bad in the series that they even connected the Shadow Realm to, so once again, it just works really well. But I would expect that the purest of purists aren't happy with it. If anything, I would have liked to see a future Yu-Gi-Oh! Series embrace it from the very beginning. I highly doubt that the current Japanese writers are unaware of it, though maybe there's some kind of legal rights issue since technically it was a creation by the 4Kids writers, but who knows. Though I am very curious to hear what everybody else thinks. Do you think the Shadow Realm was a good invention, a necessary evil, or an unneeded addition? Leave a comment down below. Anyway, this is Gatorax, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.